Loading Snacks.
Yo, what's good, Loaded Snacks Universe? Your boy Jokes is here. I got the homie Marcus, and welcome to another edition of the Finisher Podcast.
Finisher. Get him.
Sir Marcus, how are you doing tonight, good sir?
I'm doing wonderful, good sir. And yourself?
I can't complain. You know, work, come home, more work. It's just how life is. It's just how life is. And of course, welcome to all of you guys that are either watching or listening to us. This is the Finisher Podcast, presented to you by Loading Snacks. I got to throw that in there as well too. Where we get together and we just have some good old wrestling conversations, talk about some current events, talk about some past stuff, just whatever we have on our mind when it comes time for some wrestling chat. Just so you guys know, as usual, just the typical things that we go through. Part of this show, everybody's going to be able to, of course, hear and see. But Patreon, you are going to get an exclusive topic that is just for you. So that one's going to come to the end. But we still want to make sure that everybody can consume some of this, get to know what the Finisher Podcast is about. And then we hope that you come on over, join us on Patreon, subscribe, get that final topic, and of course, explore that other content that we put up on there, because we at Loading Snacks do a whole bunch of stuff. Wrestling is just a small portion of it, but we love us some wrestling when it comes time for it. Marcus, you ready to go ahead and jump into some good old chat, some wrestling chat?
Like an old school cruiserweight coming off the top rope.
So I thought this would be a good time. Obviously we got King and Queen of the Ring. Of course, it's going to be coming up next week. And I just wanted to kind of talk about some of my opinions of the King and Queen of the Ring. And I want to get your input, and I want to see how you feel about it. So obviously, King of the Ring, big old concept. King of the Ring has been around a good couple of decades now. There was a point in time where it fizzled and just went away, and we hadn't heard from it like in a good few years. And then randomly they decided to bring back the King of the Ring, or I should say the King and Queen of the Ring. For those that are not familiar, I imagine a lot of you are already familiar, but just so those that are tuning in that are potentially new, King Queen of the Ring is essentially, it's a tournament. The tournament, it's bracket style, just to determine, I guess you could say, who the best of the best is in WWE. We're going to have a men's bracket, we're going to have a women's bracket, and of course we're coming up to the pay-per-view, which is going to take the whole, or excuse me, premium live event. Listen,
yep.
I still have an issue.
It's okay, because there are still products that produce pay-per-views, PPVs, and it's okay. Like, we all catch ourselves calling PLE a pay-per-view. It's okay.
But you guys understand.
This is a huge step for those of you that are listening and watching and tuning in. Like, King and Queen of the Ring becoming an actual PLE instead of a normal Raw, SmackDown show. This is huge.
Very much so.
This is a different format.
And in highlighting that, this especially, this is coming to us from Saudi Arabia, which is going to be obviously one of the biggest shows that can be put on within a stadium. Now, my only thing, I love and enjoy the concept of King and Queen of the Ring, but I feel like the way that it's been, or the way it has in like the last few years, it just seems like it's, I don't want to say useless, but I feel like there's no big significant payoff.
It's lost its meaning. It's lost meaning
when you win the tournament. Now, we'll use a couple like previous winners, Xavier Woods and Zelina Vega. Now, I thought they did an okay job when it came time for repping and being king and queen. Like, I think they played that role pretty good. And there's some people throughout the years that have done awesome at playing I'm gonna say King of the Ring because obviously the Queen of the Ring concept has only been
Oh,
around
brand
the
new.
last few years. Um, but when you take the likes of like a Booker T or like a Macho Man, like those are two of the ones, or like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like
Yep.
these are people that I think of when I think of King of the Ring.
Prince
And
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
another one
Or
as you
was he
go
Duke?
back,
Something.
they've
He
been
was some.
he was one he was one of them when it came
He
time
was
for it.
something. He was something.
But they absorbed being king and they ran with it. And I enjoyed those runs that we got to see. But I feel like as we have more recently done it, we had a little brief conversation before the show started. Like Xavier Woods, of course, did get an opportunity at the heavyweight championship, if I recall. Is it the heavyweight or the WWE?
WWE Universal title.
Universal
It was
champ.
the Smack. It was the SmackDown title.
At the time for it. So he did get the opportunity to face for a championship. And I think that could be a part of what's missing with this is obviously when you win, I feel like there should be something more meaningful. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, you won the Royal Rumble, now you get your ticket right to WrestleMania to the challenge a champion or just to be in the main event for it. But I feel like there's nothing necessarily being defended. Obviously, you can run with being the king and the queen for a whole entire year. We get to the next year, you got to defend your crown. Like I like the concept of how that is, and it's just depending on who wins. I feel like also can set the bar of how that can actually work. I think Xavier Woods and Zelina Vega were two of the perfect candidates to be put in that position. Unfortunately, Zelina's run as queen, I feel like it fizzled out. Unfortunately,
I just feel like they would like this goes back to what we were talking about last week and in previous episodes. Is that when it comes to the women's division, like they start off story wise really well, but then they don't know what to do towards the middle and end of the run, which is where that problem lies. On the other hand, Xavier had a pretty decent and strong build as the King of the Ring. And then from him winning King of the Ring, he went into various feuds. And then the last feud that he was really in as king was with the Bloodline. And that's where he took it upon himself to challenge for that championship. I feel like in that instance, okay, it has meaning. He was able to challenge a champion, a main champion. And even though he didn't win, it showed some sort of relevance to this event that normally it's more gimmicky. Like I think the last real person that was King of the Ring that won a main championship was probably Booker T.
Sounds about right. And Booker probably had one of the best runs when I tell you, when that dude became king, he lived that king gimmick out at least for that whole year until the following came around. And I really enjoyed that. He embraced it. Having Queen Sharmell alongside with him, I think was just an additional plus to have that whole entire thing work. I want to see something like that, but I want it to have more meaning. I just don't want this to be one of those, we go in, we do this tournament, hey, we have a winner, but then it's just pointless at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying the winner of this is going to go on and just immediately face Cody or Damian right now for the championship, but
I apologize. It was Bad News Barrett.
Hey, you right.
I'm sorry, everyone. I forgot about the Nexus era. I forget
about that.
Form, Wade Barrett won the King of the Ring, and he beat Neville. I'm sorry. Oh, I can't. Well, yeah, this is WWE. I can say
that's Neville. That's definitely Neville. Oh man, damn! I forgot. I enjoy Wade Barrett. Like,
that was in 2015, ladies and gentlemen. 2015.
Jesus. So almost a decade. We're almost a decade removed from that. Crazy enough.
Well, not necessarily, because you got to remember during COVID, that's when Xavier won King of the Ring.
One came back. But at least a decade from him coming to it. But I don't know. Am I just in my own feelings about this right now, or how do you feel, Marcus? Like, does there need to be more meaning to the King and Queen of the Ring, or is it just need to stay like this one-off event?
I feel like as a one-off event, like it. Well, now that it is a one-off event, a prime. Hate that I said that. Event. It should definitely have story-wise have a meaning. It should be like, okay, I'm the king. All right, I'm going to say and do whatever I want because I went through this tournament. I got the crown. I earned the crown. This is my spot. This is now going to springboard me into the main title event picture, no matter what show I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a SmackDown star, then you're going against Cody. If you're a Raw star, you're going against Damian Priest. That's just how that cookie is going to crumble. That's how this superstar shake-up trade nonsense is going to play out.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit because like there's solid entries into the King and Queen of the Ring this year. Unfortunately, the King and Queen of the Ring has been plagued with injuries since the beginning.
Cursed. It's a cursed event.
But with the changes and swaps that they've made, I feel like they've been ones that have made sense. So having Jay being it was crazy to me that Jay actually originally wasn't part of the King of the Ring. Like,
because story wise, like if you go bloodline wise, right? Mm-hmm. And Roman was the head of the table. Is the head of the table.
Mm-hmm.
A head of the table. It would cause, I won't say a ripple, because like even though King Jay kind of has a nice ring to it, King Yeet, but
it does.
It's one of those things. It's like that he has no real need to help anyone in the bloodline. He's a king.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to help you. Like, if anything, if they would have did this, like, perfect world, like, okay, let's say, if they did this before the Royal Rumble last year and Cody won it, that, I feel like, would have been a better setup. Because he has the whole claim my kingdom. To claim your kingdom, you had to be a king. Like, I feel
you're cooking, like this, sir. I like this. You're cooking.
I feel like there was a missed opportunity somewhere, but I don't want to go off the rails. So yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'm just like, King Jay, but then Cody's the champion. What if some shenanigans happen? He gets traded to SmackDown. He's like, well, you're entering my kingdom, but I'm a king. Well, that makes me think of 300. It's just like you're bringing these like my mom was spinning.
But yeah, just like I said, so there's solid entries. Like, do you have a person that you want to see win King or Queen of the Ring? Like, I don't know if you have actually thought about that. Like, I know I have my pick right now. I think I have my pick for both. The end of the thing. Well, actually, before I say who I think, do you see potentially? Because another addition, Tama Tonga, of course, originally was not in the King of the Ring. I forget who he replaced. Was it Bobby Lashley? I feel like he replaced Bobby Lashley. I'm not 100% sure. And Tama's won some of his quarterfinal matches, so it looks like he's going to progress on. Do you see Jay and Tama potentially being, I don't know if that'll be the finals, but I feel like we may see them cross paths before we get there. Do you think we're gonna see that? Is this gonna be the first? Because I know hey, listen, I don't want to sidebar too much, but like Usos and I say Gorillas of Destiny, but clearly they're gonna have to.
They've been saying they're gorillas. So well that's from Michael Cole and like mentioning the New Japan stuff.
I love on
the slick. Like if you didn't know, then it went over your head. But if you knew, like I see what you did there. But going through the current brackets, like I believe this SmackDown is what Randy Orton versus Carmelo and LA versus Tama to finish out the quarterfinal. Then the semifinal will then be Jay and Gunther and whoever comes out of those two matches on SmackDown.
Oh damn! I think there's Jay's because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is Gunther. I think this is
that's like as much as I would want Randy Orton to win King of the Ring because he's never been King of the Ring.
King Viper.
But then like Carmelo, like King Mello, like
hey, listen. There's a lot of potential.
I told y'all, talking all that back to Bobby Lashley. I told you when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. Like the amount of story that could be told from that perspective alone with the the Pride.
All right. Hurt Business 2.0, I guess. 1.5. I don't know if it's a full 2.0 move.
I definitely see LA not winning against Tama. I see Mello and Randy putting out a certified banger. But I believe at the end of the day, Gunther's probably going to walk out as king, and that's going to set up Gunther and Dragunov for a future storyline.
Hey, listen. For those that did not watch NXT UK, Gunther and Dragunov. So let me preface this. So Gunther, Walter from NXT UK days, went undefeated. Like this dude stayed undefeated he was like 500 and some odd days, I believe, and he was NXT UK champion. It took Dragunov to finally beat Gunther, and that match was an absolute banger. And this will be the first time that we would see the two of them compete against each other since then.
In their prime physical shape
that they are in now. And don't get me wrong, Gunther was still dealing slaps the same way he is now back then.
But Walter ain't Gunther.
Hey, listen, Gunther's a whole nother thing. Now listen, King Ring General, I don't know how you're gonna word
you're no longer a general. You're the king of the ring. You're the king of the ring.
Called the king of the ring for a reason. That was stupid
of me to say. It fits like he elevated himself up. He went from a ring general to king of the ring.
King of the ring. Dog, there's so many awesome potential names and things that they can
like I can help. Like I don't even want that much money. Like just God. Let me help.
King of the Ring for Gunther, King Viper for Randy, King Yeet. Hey, listen. King Yeet is gonna absolutely.
But you come in with the scepter and be like,
just do a little something beforehand, and then just go. Dog, there's so much potential, and I won't be mad, honestly, at any of them truly winning. But it's just like, what do you do with them afterwards? Don't get me wrong. Randy Orton, Gunther, Jey Uso, all are going to be solid. Whether they win or not, they're able to establish some solid stories with them, period, either way. But when you're going to have the whole King scenario added in on top of it, it's just extra fire. just extra fire. But I think this is Gunther. I think Gunther's going to take this, and if things go the way that they should on the women's side, listen, I know we've been talking
the women's
about.
side is shaky right now.
I know we talked about obviously the whole Liv. We were told was going to win the championship to build up to Rhea coming back, but I could also not be mad if she won Queen of the Ring, and then Rhea comes back and just like, I'm going to dominate the Queen. Like, listen, there's whole setups here, and
I know I need. You have to see what happens on SmackDown.
Yeah,
because with everything that's happening behind the scenes with the whole Tiffany news that came out earlier today, if she's gonna actually be on TV or she gets pulled, like I don't think she'll get pulled.
She's still gonna be there,
but I don't want to see our Jade versus Bianca match in a Queen of the Ring tournament. I don't want that, but I don't want Tiffany to beat Bianca.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know. Are they in the tournament? Oh yeah,
yes. Both of them. I mentioned. So, Sin and I had a conversation that all the women in the Queen of the Ring tournament are all in tag teams together.
I remember that conversation.
And you have Nia Jax versus Jade,
mm-hmm.
and you have Tiffany versus Bianca.
Oh, Tiff's gonna beat Bianca. I hate to say that, but Tiff is gonna beat Bianca. Jade versus Tiff. Jade will probably. I think Jade. And you know what? I was saying Liv. Jade probably would be the one.
What about Lyria Valkyria?
Solid too.
It's her versus Io, or was her versus Io.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely have Jade be Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want Tiffany to beat Bianca, but I don't want Jade and Bianca to.
You don't want them to have that face off now. You want their face off to be like, obviously they're tag.
And I don't like. And when Jade beats Nia, I don't want her thinking, well, I beat Nia Jax and you lost to Tiffany. I don't want that rift.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're both competitive athletes. So I don't want that rift, and they're the women's tag team champions. So like I don't want them to start that seed of doubt, like, oh, who's gonna turn on who?
Right. And we're not ready for that yet. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want that yet.
But and that so if Tiffany wins, it'll just be Sin's favorite catchphrase, Tiffy time.
Tiffy time.
And then she's gonna run into an Omega level mutant and get destroyed. And then
I'm gonna be real with you. The one that should win, that would run with winning Queen, would be Chelsea Green. Queen Chelsea Green would be the most annoying thing that they.
She wasn't in the tournament.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Could have been the most annoying thing that they could have done, but it would have worked. She has that. But unfortunately, not gonna be a thing. But yeah, that's just my I just want it to be more meaningful. I just don't want it to be you win. You take a couple weeks, you do the whole king or queen bit, and then it just fizzles and goes away. I want it to really, truly mean something. And I think maybe in this era now with Trips doing certain things, maybe we can find where that importance of being the king and the queen can really come to shine. They really need to push that, and especially if we're going to continue this going forward, and this is going to be a big yearly PLE, because at this point, all of these PLEs, we're taking them overseas and we're putting them in these massive venues. And when you're doing this, I would hope that we have a payoff.
Like, hey, they're the WWE and TKO is definitely receiving this behind the scenes, especially that Saudi money. that old oil, new oil money.
Mm-hmm.
Like they definitely doing that. I mean, how else were they going to acquire this Netflix deal? The downside is back in the day, all right, we could enjoy these type of things. Now going forward, it's kind of like they're trying to do what Vince did and what The Rock's grandmother did, is opening up these territories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, Saudi Arabia, all right, we're going to set up a WWE center in
Factory.
Saudi Arabia,
whatever you want to call it. It's like it's going to be a factory. Like,
and I feel like that, like behind, I feel like that's a thing. Like it hasn't been officially verbalized and ink on paper, but I feel like that's a thing that's going to happen in the near future. Is that there will be a Saudi Arabia WWE Performance Center.
I think they've talked about, obviously when NXT UK went away, because we knew there was going to be this NXT Europe or whatever they were trying to go for. And we know that WWE wants to have that presence everywhere. And so eventually, like how now these giant PLEs that are popping up in these other countries, you can eventually have your territories come together and have like their big thing. I don't want to necessarily say it's their WrestleMania, but it kind of would be like the WrestleMania for those territories, or at least where they could bring those stars in and let them shine on a bigger stage. So we're gonna have a discussion about that too,
and I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like some of these places that they go in the US, like the fans be dry. It's just like they don't really boo, they don't really cheer. They're just like, okay, I'm here to just watch the show.
Real game. France has set a bar that will never, honestly, I don't think in our lifetime at this point is gonna be matched. That
I don't know. Wembley may be a good run for its money.
Maybe at WWE.
Because you gotta remember, Wembley in the UK, like they still do all the stuff that France does.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Wembley would be a good contender if the show is built properly.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if we're gonna pull the trigger on Mania outside of the States, I feel like
France would be the first place.
I don't know what stadium, obviously with soccer, football over there. I know they have a big enough stadium over there that can house WrestleMania. Obviously Wembley in London definitely is going to do it, but I feel like you're going to want to choose one of those. Just imagine Mania in France after just having what they did with Backlash. Dog.
Bro, can you imagine a 2 nights PLE WrestleMania in France?
Dog, at this point,
I feel like people would die.
Dog. If they would announce that early enough, like to say, listen, 2026 WrestleMania, or what is that? That's gonna be 43, 42, 43? 42. 42. If they could tell us early enough and just say like, listen, 41, 42, wherever, it's going to be like in France. That'd be the one, like, hey, listen, y'all, let's start.
We got our tickets. I'm like, hey guys, I already got the travel arrangements. All right, here's the joint PayPal account. Everyone put their money in. I'm about to hit this button.
Everybody just start putting in, because like I would love to be a part of that crowd, just to enjoy that atmosphere. But I don't want to get too.
I want to see that green t-shirt guy and the dude with the Trinidad flag. Like,
that's. And listen, that's like 10K easy. Now I don't know about in pounds. We may get away where it's a little bit cheaper in pounds, but I believe the pound is more than the dollar right now. So that may not actually work right now. But I just want, at the end of the day, I just want the king and the queen in the ring to just be more meaningful. Period. I just want them to make it meaningful, do something with it that is just not a fizzle out type of thing. But I know we'll have some more discussions. I'm eager to hear what you guys think about the king and queen of the ring. Let us know what you think about that as well too. So now I want to go ahead and switch gears. And, Marcus, I'm gonna throw the ball to you now, right here at the halfway mark, and I want to see what you got. What you got on the plate for us?
Okay. The topic for today is fans.
Okay.
So a lot of you may think fans. What are you talking about? How could that be a topic? I'm glad you're thinking that.
Because fans, like we're trying to cool off here. What's this?
Nah. I'm talking about WWE, AEW. Well, since this is a WWE show that we're running tonight, I'm gonna stick with WWE fans. Okay. I'm gonna give you the AEW fans a little break this week because I've seen some stuff that some of y'all been talking, and I can't really agree with what y'all talking about. Separate topic. So for WWE fans, a lot of you first 2 years, maybe a year, coming back into watching wrestling, you've seen some of the highlights. You've gone through the trials and tribulations of watching certain people come up and become champion, lose their championship, whatever. What I don't agree with is how you don't give a current champion the time and the respect to build that new chapter within WWE.
Okay. Keep going.
I'm going to use the most current hot topic, the Bloodline. So, everyone knows Bloodline is probably one of, in recent years, WWE's best creations by the sheer luck of a series of unfortunate events. And fans seem to forget or omit certain things that led up to said creation of this stable being formed. And from there, I say, have you been smoking too much? Have you been drinking too much? Because it wasn't that, like, people was like, oh, well, Roman made Jimmy and Jay main events. No. Jay and Jimmy have always been main events. Mm-hmm. Have you seen have you seen their tag team stuff? Have you seen all of their promos? Like, that was before Roman. And fun fact, they were in WWE the main star picture before Roman. Fun fact, for those of you that forget that the Usos started their main roster appearances before Roman Reigns. So technically, they've been in the game longer. So they should have those mic skills, and they do, which is why the Bloodline got over. The Bloodline didn't get over because of Roman Reigns.
Oh, definitely
the Bloodline. not solely. The Bloodline got over because of two simple things. Paul Heyman,
valid,
and the Usos. They carried this story to the point where you can add in a Solo Sikoa, who didn't really talk much after coming up from NXT, from which that man talked like no one's business. Mm-hmm. You could bring in a Sami Zayn, but strictly off of just the one Roman Reigns, no. And had a pandemic not been a thing, I don't see the Bloodline actually being the way it is now. And I think it would have fizzled. Xavier, any of the people who should have won that WWE Universal Championship would have won.
Yeah, we're gonna talk like a little bit about pandemic era. Like obviously from when Roman won this championship and things got started. Um, Obviously the pandemic made everything run differently, work differently. Starting with Roman, obviously, and having Paul in the beginning, because let's be real, Roman up to a point didn't have that ability on the microphone.
He didn't.
And he did not. And thank goodness for the fact of having Paul Heyman standing next to him that could be able to help sell and put things over.
Literally be his wise man. Literally.
Roman did not have it fully. Like, obviously, he's got the look. Like, all that he's always had that. But it took so many opportunities where WWE was trying to get this man over. And
this man had more opportunities than John Cena.
And unfortunately, it didn't go his way. Real life scenario, obviously, battling leukemia and having to, step aside. I'm gonna be real with you. That time that he was able,
he still wasn't over. Still wasn't
He
didn't get over until he dropped Roman and became Joe. The moment he stopped being Roman and became Joe, like, hey, this isn't Roman Reigns talking. My name is Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about his issues, talked about what he was battling. And he was like, I don't want to have to relinquish this, but I gotta go fight this battle.
Mm-hmm.
That is when they've been force feeding us this Roman Reigns, force feeding us, trying to make him to be like John Cena, trying to be the next John Cena. He is the next John Cena. All of this talk, like, okay, we don't have to hear about it. Let him go do what he needs to do to get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That is the moment that the Roman Reigns we knew and the Roman Reigns we have came to be born. Because, alright, what if I don't make it? What if, like, this is the last time I'm actually able to do this? I need my flowers now.
Mm-hmm.
I need everyone to acknowledge my talent. That, for those of you who haven't watched, I think it's the A&E special of everything. He said it like, I want them to acknowledge me. I want my flowers now. That was that conversation that he had in that meeting with everybody. And that is what I think WWE fans truly miss, is that Roman by himself coming back, winning the championship isn't enough to carry the current bloodline to where it was on his own. And that's all I want them to acknowledge, no pun intended, is that he could not do it alone.
No, absolutely not. Those pieces to the puzzle have been assembled so well, to the fact that the bloodline story was able to go for let me say it's still going, but that core tribal chief time for like 3 years, and there was some moving parts that were involved with it, and I'm happy fans were getting into it the correct way, but obviously, listen, there's always bad apples in fans. Unfortunately, it's just how the world is. But in the way that they were able to do and have the fans being pulled in, like, as anything I know, we want to talk about the fan side of it. There's always going to be pushback. I think is probably the word to use.
Yeah, I mean, those same fans talking about Maxine Dupree and how she has no in-ring ability. It's like, why is she on TV? Like, not even giving her a chance. Like that. Like,
hey, listen,
people talking about Jade. Like, oh, Jade can't do this. Jade can't do that. Like, those fans. Oh, well, Cody's. How do you have your main champion not be number one in sales? Like, this man, when he wasn't champion, was number one in sales for like almost a whole calendar year, and he was in the same 3 spots as the current now new big super face Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I get it. You're upset. The person who you wanted to be champion is no longer champion. The person you thought would have been a good champion isn't champion, and they're off doing whatever they're doing. I get it. But stop it. Like, enjoy the product. When you go to a movie and you're watching the movie, you may say, oh man, I hate that this happened. But you still be quiet and you let the movie play. You let it play out so you can see what happens. For those movies that had end credits, you even wait all the way after the movie is officially done to see if there is bonus content.
That's Marvel's fault. It's all Marvel's fault too, by the way. I'm just gonna throw that in there. That sidebar, like that's a whole nother conversation. That's Marvel's fault.
I'm just saying, as fans, yes, you have the right to cheer and boo whoever the flip you want. But let us keep the conversation civil. We don't need to go into this negative space all the time. Not go back and watch everything he did when he first came in to where he is now, to what he did when he left, and what he did when he left. You may not want to do that. You may only see him as this mid-carder. That's fine. That is your right. But at least give it a solid chance, like you did your current champion. Just because, all right, he that current champion checked the boxes on your what if or my one I can cheat on you with box. Like, you need to like push that off to the side and actually just like, yo, let this man do his thing. Let him be great. Like, this man has only been champion for like 2 months, not even a full 2 months. Like, can we just let it brew? Like let them cook. Stop trying to be those people that go in restaurants is like, I don't want this. It's just like, yo, can you chill?
Right.
Relax.
And you brought up Maxine. I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing where Maxine has gone from up until now. Like, we've seen, like, there's been improvement in what she has been presenting to us, and I've enjoyed that ride.
That's that Master Gable class.
And shout out to Chad Gable. Like, I'm eager to see where his heel run goes, and I'm eager to see if he can turn the whole Alpha Academy into a heel group and work with it. Because
I'm telling you, he just needs to channel that inner Perk angle, and it'll be a wrap. It's gold. It's gold.
Because I'm liking it, and Maxine right now. Well, Maxine and Otis, they're in that that I'm not too sure phase right now. Like, was that Raw? Oh no, SmackDown. Yeah. It was Raw. No, it was Raw. Otis, like, he was trying to get this dude Otis to be super serious, but he just had to get the worm. He had to do the grub. He had to do it, and unfortunately cost him the match. So I like seeing this conflict within themselves, within the group, and if they're going to end up truly following Chad in the way that he's going currently right now, or if somehow they're going to end up, obviously splitting, and then we have this feud with Chad, Otis. Like, I'm eager to see where they go with it.
I will say, in the current era of the era that we're in with WWE, like, I applaud Otis for still being a relevant face on either show for any brand within WWE, because like there's not many people of his size still. All right, I can get on TV. I can have maybe 1 or 2 lines. I still have matches and still be that athletic, still be that strong, still doing a little less fun stuff, but more technical stuff. Like, there's not too many guys of his build still on those main rosters.
Hey, listen, they got Bronson like that. Hey, listen,
but that's another thing. I don't like that they keep calling him Big Bronson. I don't like it. I don't like it. And if they're trying to build him out to be this Godzilla, this King Kong, then say Bronson, the Kaiju Reed. Like that has a better ring to it than Big Bronson Reed. BBR.
I was just about to...
Like yeah, you have the Titantron, the cinematic, him stomping over the yo.
It's perfect. Perfect. Like it's there. That's it. That's the kaiju jump. That's it.
Like I don't know.
I don't know. It's a miss. I get it though. But end of the day, what you're saying is like the fans just give these things opportunity to grow. Like obviously
things, like fine wine, give it some time to breathe, man. Like
some of these things take time. And you know what? I know we don't want to go too much like in tomorrow. We keep saying in Feige we trust, like in Paul Levesque we trust, and I have all my trust in Paul and what that team is doing behind the scenes now. And right now, like obviously coming out of Mania, those first few months are really about the rebuilding and starting to tell new stories, getting to the end of a couple that will spill over from Mania. So this is where we are going to start these new things and build up. Obviously, with Cody being
people, we literally had a Marvel canon event that just happened. Like we literally had an Avengers level moment in a pro wrestling scenario. Like just think about it. Like really think about it. We had a whole 2-year build up for this one moment.
Yeah, I'm still a little. Hey, listen, that whole build it was cool. The Undertaker thing still throws me.
Well, he actually talked about that. Is that Paul called him and was just like, hey, did you want to be a part? That only if the guys are cool with it. And they were cool with it. And this man was there.
Oh, you want to be cool with Undertaker?
And then Skybox. He says, I was just there in the Skybox and whatever. And then I got a call. It was like, all right, everyone's downstairs. We're going to run through before it happens.
Still random, but don't get me wrong. Having the Undertaker be a part of it. Hey, listen, I know we've said this a couple times, but it's like
the first person that actually sold for Cody in our pay-per-view at the time was the Undertaker. Royal Rumble.
Had to let him eliminate him. Like, hey, look, it's just we're seeing like we've seen the torch being passed a couple times over the years, and now having like The Rock and the Undertaker, like what almost is be like the last time that we'll probably see the two of them in the ring together. I don't think so, because I feel like The Rock probably will, whenever he decides to show back up, will probably call Taker out. I don't think we're gonna get a match.
I don't think he'll call out Taker. I have a stronger belief that he'll call out Triple H or Stone Cold.
Yeah, Triple H, far from it. Like if he calls out Trips is going to use somebody else to be his weapon of choice, because obviously Trips is not getting back in the ring. It's an unfortunate thing, but Trips is not setting foot back in the ring. So he's just going to figure out who his weapon of choice will be. Austin, maybe, but I'll be honest with you, I don't need to see. After his fight with KO, hey, listen, KO versus Austin in Mania actually wasn't bad. Like for what I was originally expecting Austin to just come out there and kind of do, dude was taking some serious bumps and stuff versus KO, and I was actually okay with what they had to present. But I don't need to see Austin unless he just comes and stuns The Rock, like, which obviously will end up setting up.
As long as it's not Rock Cena 3. I'm okay with it.
We do not need that again. It was supposed. Listen, that was one of those things that was
Twice in a lifetime event.
It was supposed to be once in a lifetime. And I complain about that, but you know what? I can't be too mad because I went to WrestleMania 29 and got to see The Rock versus John Cena. And there's a lot of people that will not get to see that live ever. Maybe you'll get to see the two of them in the ring trash talking. You're not going to get the two of them together. So, but I dig it. I dig it. Fans, just absorb things. And I know we can have another conversation about the WWE.
The final boss says, fans. Know your role, shut your mouth, and enjoy the ride, and smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah, like I know we had obviously there's WWE stands, there's AEW stands. Like, dog, y'all, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. This, and then we'll tidy this up and move on to the next. This is probably the best era for wrestling currently. Like, there's so much. There's so much. Obviously, if you don't like WWE, if you want those main shows, if you don't like WWE, you can go to AEW. If you don't like AEW, you got WWE. You got TNA, who is doing okay. There needs to be some more work. They're doing okay. New Japan, obviously, they're in their own lane, which I'm enjoying. AAA. They have their partnerships. AAA, CMLL, like they're all starting to have these partnerships.
W is now doing some crazy stuff.
WWE is now starting to do, just having Shayna Baszler show up at Bloodsport. Like, as small as what a lot of people think that is a major thing.
Huge.
That's a major thing, and I'm hoping that's just
like WWE allowing Daniel Bryan to go participate in the G1 Classic.
It's these little small things where I think are going to eventually pay off even more, especially with what is the new women's wrestling promotion? I forget the name of it. That the guy that founded and was running Stardom left to do.
Yeah.
Golden something, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yes. It's Golden something. Is it Golden something? It's
I forget, but there's so much wrestling that you can watch, and I know I've said this before many times. So much indie stuff that you can go watch, quality indie wrestling. Let me put that out there, because obviously there are some promotions. You know what? I'm not trying to shame or do anything to anyone that necessarily don't have the quality yet, but obviously you got to build and you got to work towards something. But nowadays there's so much wrestling. It's easy to be able to consume it, whether it be YouTube. Everybody's on somebody's streaming platform. You can watch it. You're not worrying about having to have somebody record it, give you a VHS tape of something that happened in the South or in whatever territory that's passing along so you can see it. There's so much of it. So fans, just enjoy it, y'all. Just enjoy it. Because I hate to say this, just like anything else, we're going to get to a point where things are going to start to sizzle out again. It's going to happen. It's inevitable until we see another resurgence. But I think we're in a time right now. It's going to be a long time before we see that. And I think we have a lot that we got to enjoy. So just absorb it. Y'all be nice out there, because y'all be doing some. This is not direct to everybody.
And trust me, I hate to be the one to say this, because normally I'm a villain. I love controversy. Controversy creates cash. But some of y'all just be a little too much.
Some of y'all really need to get yourself in check.
Right.
Like coming after some wrestlers and what. Get yourself
wrestlers' families. Y'all need to chill.
And we can have a whole discussion on that, because there's some disgusting stuff about it. But we're gonna go ahead and tie this side of things up. This is going to be what a lot of everybody is going to see. We're getting ready to switch and jump into our Patreon specific topic. But before we make that shift, I just want to thank everybody that's either watching or listening. Marigold, thank you, is that Japanese women's promotion. But I want to thank wherever you may be, that is listening to this Finisher podcast.
Truly
we just want
appreciate
to we just want to keep this going, and we're going to start having more special guests on here alongside with us. As you can see, we're trying to build a cadence and keep this thing rolling, and just we want to see it grow. But as usual, you guys chime in. We want to know some more of those topics that you want to hear us talk about. So make sure wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, there's a chat bubble in there somewhere that you can go ahead and throw things in there. And by all means, you know we're on all the social medias. Just shoot us a message. Let us know some of those topics that you want us to talk about on here.
Don't be a stranger.
Marcus, before we shift, anything else that you want to say to the mass people that are watching and listening currently right now?
Yeah. You see we got our biggest link up above. Make sure you type that in, click that, follow. If you're into anime and stuff, we have a lot of good things in the anime community. Loading Stats anime chat. Thriller Park is every Thursday. We just finished what was it? FGO? What was it? FGO? The little shark joint?
The shark joint? I gotta watch it. I heard bad things about that, but
we just got finished that. And if you have subscribed to Patreon, you would have saw early access to what I'm talking about. So there's content there. Always you got the homie Jokes, Sin, and Gage doing Spoiler Boys. So make sure you check out that. They do X-Men 97. They do pretty much all the main shows almost.
There's a lot of content for you guys to consume. So if you're listening because you're a wrestling fan, greatly appreciate it. But I'm sure we overlay in some other those territories. Check out some of the other content as well too. Thank you guys.
What's good, Loading Snacks universe? Did you think that was too sweet? Well, do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe on whatever platform you're watching us on. And also, jump on over to patreon.com/loading snacks, where you can support us in everything we do and pick the tier of your choice. Much appreciated.